Wayne, it's great to see you again, mate. We're great. It's good to be here in Berkley together, and I thought it's a good chance for us to catch up with you. So, Reverend Wayne Pickford, we don't all necessarily know who you are. Tell us a little bit about you, brother.
I've been the pastor in Berkley for about 10 years. I've probably been dealing with Coma, which I love going to, about 4 years, 5 years. I've known you for over 5 years through a lot
We're not aging at all, are we?
No, God's been good. God's been good. I enjoy being in Berkley. I enjoy helping people who are doing it hard, but most of all I want to see people come into a relationship with Jesus, because if it's just feeding people, all you're doing is cholesterol and heart attacks and stuff.
Fantastic. So Wayne, tell us, what sort of is a typical week for you that all happens here at the op shop we're in and other places?
There's not really typical. It's just, if it's going to happen, you've got to move into a conversation might come up, or an incident might come up. We've had people with domestic violence sort of come in here, or somebody who was going to be beaten up so he felt safe in here. We've had people come here when relatives have committed suicide and died. So we're pretty laid back. There's no sort of regime of what we do. We just sort of hang around people. You know, you hang around people and Jesus turns up. It's pretty good.
So what's some of the hardest things about serving here at Berkley for you?
Oh, it's children. It is children. They're in families that are not good. There's a lot of drugs and all that. And during that time when they sent the kids back to school, that was the worst thing you could do for people here, because that's the most unsafe place for them, is to be at home. We're trying to do more children's and family ministry. Sort of, we've been getting referrals from the New South Wales services and the domestic violence in Wollongong. So we've been able, with the generosity of a lot of the local churches, to have a good supply of food. Another church has given us food vouchers, so we've been able to help people in practical ways.
And of course we want to talk about church services. I understand you have just started the Revelation series, and we've just completed Revelation 1 to 4, but I think you told me you're doing it in 32 or 33 weeks. So,
32.
Wow, but we won't go to each of those sermons, but just for now, the church
I've got it on the top of my head, mate, so I'm just
sure
waiting.
You have. But tell us a bit about the reopening of church, what's happening at Berkley right now, where you meet and what it looks like.
Well, there was this urgency that because of the nature of the place, and they'd been locked up basically, like the police would see someone in the street and send them home, that sort of thing. So they'd been away from, and they had mental health issues, so the worst thing you can do is isolate them like that. So we thought, whatever first chance we get, we're going to take the punt and open up again, and we did. You're only allowed to have 10 to a service, but within a week it went to 20, so we got a 10 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, no sorry, a 2 o'clock and a 4 o'clock, and we've had some new people come to that, so we're working on that.
Well, are the services different to the way they ran before the COVID, or would you say it's
Well, my little theory is, and I'm a non-eventer, but my theory is that the church will never be the same since this whole virus thing. So we've changed that. Our church services now are, half of it, they look at our online service, then the rest of it becomes a time of fellowship, which is a key thing, fellowship, meeting together, sharing together, getting through life together. And I think if you look at the early church, they weren't known for great preachers or great buildings. They were known how much they loved each other. And the only way you can do that is in the community as a group, and you demonstrate your love for each other, and you're going out into the community and helping people and caring for people and doing what Jesus says, when you do it for the least of these, you do it for me. Well, that's pretty, it's not rocket science to work out what that is. That means anybody who is out there has got a pulse and breathing and is in trouble, you need to help in some way.